You've completed step one of creating an advertiser. The next step is to create a campaign underneath that advertiser. You can access the campaign either by clicking onto a specific advertiser or from the trafficking drop-down, specifically selecting the campaign and then selecting your advertiser, which the campaign sits under. So just a quick reminder on the hierarchy at Beeswax. First you create an advertiser, next you create a campaign. Campaigns are for budgeting and date control, frequency capping, and then your line items will be then created underneath your campaigns for targeting and further date specific restrictions. So once you are under your advertiser, you will see your campaigns created. If you would like to create a new campaign, you can click New and go on the drop down to select campaign. This will present you with your campaign. So to look at a campaign that I've already created, you can click on the campaign, and to edit the campaign you can click on this little edit pen. This will take you to the same view as what you would see if you were creating a campaign from scratch. So as I mentioned before, campaign sits under advertiser. You can have multiple campaigns under one advertiser. To create a campaign, you need to input the name. Name your campaign as you wish. Another required input is the start date. You must input the date which you would like this campaign to be active and serve. End date is optional. If you would like the campaign to run infinitely, you can leave this blank. If you have specific end dates, then you can input these here by selecting from the calendar. You also have the option to be more granular in that day as to when you would like the activity to start, whether that's at a specific time. At the campaign, you will set a top-level budget. This will cap across all the line items that you set up underneath the campaign. You have three options to select for budget type. Spend, which is simply how much you would like to spend on this campaign. Impressions, which is capping by the number of impressions that you would like to serve. And then something that's really useful is spend with vendor fees. This budget type allows you to set a spend cap, but your spend will include any additional costs associated to buying the media under this campaign. So whether that's third-party brand safety or first-party data costs that you have created separately as a vendor fee within Beeswax. If you have strict budgets, for example $1,000, and that $1,000 has to include the cost of buying the media, but as well the cost that is associated to buying that media, you can select spend with vendor fees, and all costs will be included in your budget, which you are required to input here. Daily budget is optional. This allows you to be a little bit more granular if you have specific targets as to how much you would like to serve per day. Revenue is simply for tracking purposes. This is used if you need it for reporting. An example here would be if you were charging a client on the cost per acquisition, so one conversion that you drive is worth $5 to you. You can input this here. This will appear in your reporting as revenue, and it will allow you to easily calculate profits. You're able to add up to 3 frequency caps, and there's different intervals, minute, hour, day, week, that you can set frequency capping at the campaign. This frequency capping will be applied across all line items under this campaign. Modifiers are for optimization purposes. You can add modifiers either at the campaign level or the line item level. Something to note, if a modifier is applied at the line item level, the line item will override the modifier applied at the campaign level. If there's no modifiers applied at the line item level, the modifier applied at the campaign level will be the modifier applied. Modifiers are to modify bids against certain targeting keys, and delivery modifiers is to skew delivery on different targeting keys. You have the option to input your alternative ID, which again is for exactly the same as the advertiser level, is to enable you to map activity in beeswax to different systems outside of beeswax. You can toggle between active and inactive. Again, be cautious if setting to active that you have all the correct settings, and that if you have any line items under this campaign, they also have exactly the right settings. As soon as you have traffic flowing to your bidder, once active, you will be ready to actively buy programmatic activity. So that's the overview page. If you are adding a bid modifier at the campaign level, you can either choose an existing one or create a new one within the campaign. And if you are applying vendor fees to your activity, you can apply those here. And that's everything that goes into creating a campaign. Once everything is filled in correctly, you can save and exit, and your campaign will appear underneath the campaign summary page, underneath whichever advertiser you've created it under. And this is now ready to then next create line items under this campaign. Stay tuned for a training on how to create line items in more detail.